Welcome to the latest Motley Fool Scoreboard. I'm Anand Chokkavelu. We've got longtime fools Jason Hall and Lou Whiteman giving a 1 to 10 rating to one of the most intriguing pandemic-era IPOs. It's Data Wrangler Snowflake, ticker symbol SNOW. We'll talk about the business first, including factors like industry and competition. A 10 is invincible, a 1 is hopeless. Both of you have 7s. Jason, what's going on with Snowflake?
So, I think the tailwinds are really still strong for companies, its clients, right? Trying to make the most of the cloud. We've seen more saturation with companies starting to move data to the cloud, but they're still trying to figure out how to access that data, get around silos and things like that. So all of those tailwinds are still there for Snowflake. It did lose the initiative over the past couple of years, particularly around artificial intelligence, and it has ground to make up, but I still give it a 7 because it is a wonderful business. And even with the kind of renegotiate or redirection they've gone through, the tailwinds and its ability to execute are still really there.
Yeah, this was everyone's favorite new tech company until AI came along, and they have been dinged, as Jason said, by what will AI do to these tools? Will there be better ways to do this? They've made a few deals. They've announced a partnership with Anthropic. They've demonstrated how AI can work to Snowflake's benefit. I do think some of those fears are overblown. I think it remains an important tool, as Jason said. The shimmer is off the story now. We're down to a 7 because we have more questions, but still a really solid business. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the big question with a lot of these AI-ish or adjacent type of companies is it a threat or is it an opportunity, right? Is it going to kill the business or is it actually going to enhance the business? And I think there's going to be a lot of disparate outcomes, and I think it's going to be hard to predict who wins and who loses. So it'll be interesting over time. Let's talk about management. A 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson. Both of you have 7s once again. Jason, why the 7?
So Sridhar Ramaswamy, the CEO, he's coming up on his 1-year anniversary as CEO. And it felt pretty abrupt when Slootman stepped down as CEO and Ramaswamy was promoted. He's been with the company since 2023. But the key, he hasn't wasted any time refocusing the company on its future and also living in the present, right? Doing both of those things. And then Slootman staying as chair, I think that's wonderful. And Benoit Degville, one of the co-founders, still leads product. He's a president of product. That's a strong team. And like other companies we've talked about on the scorecard, we've still got a C-suite that's been with the company for a long time prior to the IPO. I think that's a really good thing. And a 7 is good, but again, you got to look at the bottom line performance and you want to see more. And that's why I came on a 7.
Yeah, I'm at 7 because, as you say, Ramaswamy is relatively new and still has something to prove. But more, I agree with everything Jason said, just more to stamp the point home. I wish more tech companies were like this, because there is not one CEO that can do everything, that is a good founder, can get you to the IPO and then can take you from there. The way they have compartmentalized, I know it's created some headlines and it's not what we're used to, but having the founder and then having a guy like Slootman take you through an IPO and then having a manager to build from there, I think I really like this approach. And I'm really bullish it works out. And I kind of wish more tech companies didn't lean so hard on the past and did say, all right, our business is in a new era, so we need new leadership. I really love that approach.
Yeah, having founders involved is key, but as long as they're leveraging what they're really, really good at is the most important part.
Let's talk about financials. A 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Lou's still clinging on to the 7 that he gives to everything this round. Jason's going up to an 8. So go ahead, Jason.
So the reason I went with an 8, it's easy to kind of look at the stock price and everything that's going on in the background, the noise, and kind of weigh that into some of these scores. But if you look at the operating results, like gross margins ticked down a tiny little bit here in the past couple of quarters, but it's held really, really steady through recent turmoil. And that says a lot about their ability to get their price and not getting squeezed by customers. You look at the non-cash numbers, the GAAP numbers, the bottom line's not pretty, but cash flows are also very, very strong. And that builds on a strong balance sheet. So that's why I came down with an 8. Even with all of the questions, the financial results and the cash flows have really held up really, really well.
Yeah, I do believe in this business. I do think they'll work it out, but I couldn't go over a 7 just because, it is, as Jason keeps saying, a work in progress. I mean, revenue was up 28% in the last quarter, but earnings per share declined, revenue retention rate down slightly. So we are still trying to work some things. We need to see that this new focus is paying off in terms of earnings growth over time. Stock-based compensation better than it used to be, but we're still talking about a share count up, I think, 8-10% over the last 3 years. So there is still kind of, as they mature, we need to see a better job there. Everything's fine. Outstanding balance sheet, $3 billion in cash, $300 million or so in debt. Fine, but not a wow for me. So I couldn't go higher than a 7.
Jason, let's talk valuation. How well will Snowflake stock do over the next 5 years, and how safe is it? A 10 is a sure thing. A 1 is a lottery ticket.
So I'll start with my safety score. I came on a 6 because I think valuation and dilution is going to impact future per share returns. We've already seen dilution do that. I think valuation, as growth slows, is going to hamper returns, but I still think the potential for 10 to 15% annualized returns, which is probably around or better than what the stock market broadly is going to deliver. I think that potential is still there because of all of the business trends and all of the tailwinds. Great management team, great product, and it's well led. But again, valuation and dilution are the things that kind of hold it back for me.
Yeah, exactly. This partially comes down to whether or not you trust management to kind of make the adjustments needed to keep Snowflake relevant. I like the tech. I think they will. But as Jason said, there is, with all the drama the stock has had, it is still a pretty wow valuation, 15 times sales or something. And it does seem like that keeps this from just being a rocket ship from here. I'm thinking, 10 to 15% beats the market, but not a huge wow beats the market. Safety is a 6 with the warning that, this is somewhat of a leap of faith. I think it works out, but kind of, I said this about others, it could be dead money if they can't figure it out in the near term.
It's top at time. Lou, is there a company in Snowflake's space that you like more?
Not in their specific area, but in terms of cloud-based computing and AI and some of these things, I do wonder if you aren't better off with going one of the giants with Microsoft or Alphabet. Snowflake is maybe a little more reward, but definitely a lot of risk and could be left behind.
So I think if you're kind of leaning more into the risk end of the pool and you're looking for a pure play that has some ties to data, not specifically the cloud, I think Confluent's really interesting because companies have data in the cloud and they also have it in proximate servers. The key is they're trying to leverage it quickly and get the most that they can out of it. And Confluent's kind of built to do that. I think it's relatively cheap right now. They have had their struggles, but if they continue to lean into what they're really, really good at, then I think it's worth taking a look at.
Thank you to both Jason and to Lou. They've given Snowflake a solid overall score of 7.0 out of 10. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is Fluence Energy. Till then, Fool on. All right, Snowflake.
All right.
Here we go.
Snowflake. Before it melts.